Hi everybody, welcome to the Karaoke Kelder. I can't believe we pulled it off with help of Andrew and so many other people. Can't mention all your names. Doris, who made the posters, Nicole, who did everything else, and whoever I've forgotten, you know who you are. I just want to welcome Josie here tonight. Thank you for actually approaching me and saying you'd like to exhibit your stuff, because I was wondering after last year, what am I going to do to beat last year's? And when you came along, I had hope. You were the first person to approach me, and we made this sort of arrangement to meet at this garage on the side of the road in Buffel-Yachts and hand over the goods. And Josie came with a box full of slides and books, and I went, fantastic, what are we going to do with all this? And loads of little 8x10s, which are lovely. So yeah, they had started, and that gave me the encouragement to do this here again. So without any further ado, here we go. This is the life of Josie and her pictures and the backstory behind her book, Josie and Me.
Josie, you and me.
Josie, you and me. Sorry about correction.
No,
so the book is for sale, by the way, if anybody wants to buy it, and so are the pictures. So anybody want to buy a book or a signed copy? Okay, I'm going to stop chattering. You.
Yeah.
Well, let's start.
Thank you. So the reason why I called it You and Me is because I didn't get any signatures from the fabulous people that are in my book to say, may I use this image? Because I'm not quite sure how that stuff works. So I thought if I just acted ignorant and just did it, then maybe it would be okay. And so far I printed the book in 2004 or something, and nobody sued me yet, so maybe it's okay.
So far, so
I just thought You and Me was like kind of a sympathetic, like, yeah, buddy, woo, me.
That's my same philosophy. Don't ask until somebody complains.
No, and some of the girls that are in the book have seen the book and have not complained. So,
well, I think in a way it's an ode to that time, the height of supermodel fame, and when everybody was worshipped as a superstar, being a model, and that was the first time I think we ever had superstar models.
Well, we didn't even know about it back then because we didn't have social media, so nothing was kind of amplified like it is today. But actually this gentleman here, who I actually married for a French passport, Pierre Oulès, who actually was a photographer, but I never worked with him. But I met him through a friend of mine called Louise Dupointe, who was my agent in Paris. She introduced me to him, and he introduced me to a camera, because I had never, maybe my father had a camera or something when I was a child, but I never picked up the fascination. And because I was a model and he was a photographer, he said to me, he gave me a little Bell & Howell, which is a half frame, 35 mil. And he said, photograph, just take pictures of anything while you're working, the photographers, the models and everything. So he was kind of my guru, whatever. And he just inspired, and he'd look at my contact sheets afterwards and say, oh, it's good, and oh, you worked with this one. I think he slept with half the models that I photographed. Oh, it's this one, yeah, I know it's this one. Oh, yeah, well, Beyonce is this one. I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, so he was my inspiration, and unfortunately Pierre died, which was, shit happens. But up until then, he was a good guy.
So I have to ask this one question. I love my Leica. It goes everybody. It's everywhere. It's banged up. I see in many of the pictures you photographed of yourself, you had Leicas. You had Leica M2s.
I did.
Leica RSs.
I had an R5 and I had a M3.
M3, lovely.
So Pierre, being French, obviously, it's the best.
Yes,
and he introduced me to the Leica. So, of course, a young 19-year-old, I had lots of money making modeling, and I went out and purchased a few Leicas. Lovely. And I don't have any of them anymore.
Oh.
They were stolen or whatever, something happened to them.
Should we go to the next slide?
The slides just go on and on. Anyway, Pierre and I lived in Carnegie Hall. In Studio 1205, we lived on the same floor as Bill Cunningham, who you may or may not know. You should look him up because he was quite an important photographer in those days. Bill used to photograph people on the street, and he worked for the New York Times, and he used to photograph the King of Spain and some famous actress who was aged, and you wouldn't know who they were, but he knew who everybody was. And he was this very smiley, kind of a gentle soul, and he lived in a tiny, tiny, tiny little apartment, which was literally the size of where this photograph is, just over here. And Bill, they've made a movie about him now, Bill Cunningham, a really amazing human being. So I lived in 1205, and Bill lived down the hall. And this was just a photograph of our studio apartment, and name dropping, sorry, that mirror was actually belonged to Paul McCarthy's wife. What was
Linda
her?
McCarthy.
Linda, and she threw it out. And the great thing about New York is people just throw shit on the street or in the corridors, and then you just drag them into your apartment. And that mirror was actually came from my friend
And that's
Linda.
just gone. So I think, I mean, a lot of the pictures you've taken are very documentary style,
Yeah.
pretty much street photography in its own
Yeah.
way. Do you think you got inspired by him? Was he somebody that you...
From Bill? No,
Yeah.
I just, I'm actually quite shy. So to take a picture for me, I actually did take some pictures when I lived in Paris. I took some pictures in the subway because there were a lot of North African gentlemen wearing the robes and everything, and I thought it was quite incongruous, like the robe and the subway. And I'd take a picture of these guys, and they'd like scream at me, and I was like so insecure, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just sorry. So I was actually very shy, and I didn't feel comfortable taking pictures of people on the street. But for me, I had a beautiful platform because I lived, I was saying earlier on, I wish I had been a war photographer, because it's something that I actually would have loved to. I mean, I know war is dark, but I've seen some amazing war photography photographs, and they inspire me a lot. And but the thing about war is it's a platform that's kind of given to you as a journalist, and you're able to shoot it. And me as a model, I was given a platform of the backstage with the other models like Naomi Campbell or whomever else is. You can just roll it. It's like there's lots of name dropping coming up.
But it's like that...
Well, that's Donna Karen, and those are all models that I worked with on a shoot with her. And yeah, I mean, it just... all these models just go on and on, and the industry goes
but you
on.
captured a moment that if you hadn't photographed, probably wouldn't have been captured. So it's a time capsule of life which would have passed, and it's actually a blessing that you've managed to capture all these pictures to record that period of our,
Well, it was really
times.
purely entertainment for me, because a lot of the models, when you go to a fashion show, you're sitting in a room like this, and you're preparing for the fashion show, and you're having your makeup done, and you're having your hair done. And a lot of the girls are sitting over there doing their own hair and makeup, which was something I could never do. And the other girls are sitting over there smoking, which I kind of didn't do. So I would just be sitting there like Kippy going, okay. And then Pierre had said, take pictures. So I just walked around photographing everybody and just, smile, or not, or whatever. And I mean, I like some of my pictures. This one I don't particularly like. That's Isaac Mizrahi. Kelly Klein, Narcissa, these people all became somebody sometime once, long time ago.
Some married presidents.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So this is actually quite a fun picture, because that's Kelly Emberg, Kelly LeBruck, who was actually, Kelly LeBruck was married to somebody. Anyway, who? Well, was she married to Steven Seagal? Shame. Okay, well, lucky her. So that guy over there who's got his finger up is Eric Bowman, who was a very respected German photographer, and he saw my Leica, and he is saying there to me, do not bring your camera out into the studio. That's what he's saying to me right there. He was very upset with me. A lot of the photographers were very upset that I had my camera.
Even though you were a model, you weren't like a paparazzi.
Yeah, like they thought I was going to like maybe photograph where their lights were or something, and like I was going to go and copy them or something. I don't know what they thought. I don't know. But Eric is literally, this is actually called the 3 bushels. And the only reason why is I've got a hell of a hairstyle. The lady who's doing my hair, has got a hell of a style. And then this lady's taking her dress off, and you can see her bushel. So it's called the 3
bushes.
It's just stupid.
But that's lovely. There's something behind your pictures. It's not just a photograph. There's the other creative elements in there which are timeless.
Yeah.
Which I do like. Because I'm a sort of a decisive moment photographer. I like capturing something that sort of records a moment that's more than just a moment. It's sort of got a meaning.
No, I love the way you shoot. I've been watching you. And you're a great camera, obviously.
Yeah, it's on the camera, you get the right camera.
Yeah.
All kinds of
well,
stuff.
I need a new phone because I need better pictures. That's John Lurie. I don't know if you know John Lurie.
Yes,
Lounge Lizards. I hung out with
Actor.
him a couple of times. Very sexy man, as you can see.
Yeah.
He's now Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Lovely. I love that shot.
I actually became quite good friends with Jean-Michel. Loved him. I had a huge crush on him. Yeah, and I actually nearly bought some of his art. Unfortunately, I didn't. So that's just a snapshot. Bruce Weber was having a exhibition and a book signing, and I asked if I could be the doorman, or doorwoman in this case, and Bruce said yes. So I was at the door, but I'm a terrible doorman because I don't know how to say no to anybody. So I just let everybody in, and Bruce was totally pissed off because it's like wine and food,
It's
and
a
it's
who's
like
who here.
yeah, and then I let Jean-Michel in. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
And you know, so yeah, that's a picture of Jean just coming towards me, and it's an instant camera. I mean, it's not
No,
a
but
great
it's
photograph.
Classic shot. If anybody wants to ask questions.
Sandra, yes, we love Sandra. She's divine. Sandra, actually I follow Sandra on Instagram now, and we chat every now and again. All these people were in my life. None of them are in my life now except through social media, and that's fine. That's fine, whatever. Yeah. So that's a great picture of Sandra.
Oh, there's your documentary, Decisive
Yeah,
Moments.
I used to catch the train. I think I was the only model in New York that caught the train. I love the subway because I love the graffiti. You don't see that anymore.
No.
It's all clean and pristine now. And I just loved I love the train. It's quick. You don't have to stay in traffic, and yeah.
Makes you feel more human, you know?
Yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, you wouldn't see Cindy Crawford in the subway.
No.
Not judging though, you know. That was they have parades every year in New York, and this was the Puerto Rican parade, and these were the winners and the runners-ups. And I just
The documentary.
yeah, I love documentary. I love street. Then I didn't mind taking pictures. It was just when people shouted at me that I felt quite. This one, the Puerto. Oh, sorry, this one. It was probably 1985. Yeah. I moved overseas in 1980, end of 82, and I went to Paris, and then I went to New York, and then I stayed there until 95, and then I came back to South Africa.
So you did about a 10-year career as a model.
Yeah, 13 year.
13.
Yeah. And yeah. And that's just street again. That's like no more, no more silence to women's violence. And, there's the great thing about Manhattan is there's always
Life happening.
there's a
you.
parade, or there's a marathon, or there's there's always something going on. Look, I must be honest. I'm really that's obviously apartheid. That must have been 83, 84. Could have been. I don't know when apartheid was abolished.
Did you ever have problems being South African, or you became
No,
French?
it was really, No, I only became French because Pierre and I were meant to drive through Africa. We were going to drive from north to south, and we bought this car, and we were going to, we decked it out, and we were going to drive through the Sahara and come down to Cape Town. And I wasn't allowed in any of the countries with a South African passport. So we decided to marry so I could get his passport, which I did get, but we didn't do the trip because Pierre died.
No.
This was a funny picture. So that guy, I can't remember his name. Was a famous quarterback or something. And I had a boyfriend who took me onto the field, and I took this one picture, and we were thrown off.
Oh.
Get out! You're
Get
not
out.
allowed to
No
be
paparazzi
here.
here.
Yeah, but it was a cute picture. I mean, something Dickerson or something. I can't remember his name. It was very cool. I dig that picture.
Oh, there we go. There's some creative.
So Pierre
behind the
was into
scenes.
boxing, and I love boxing. I mean, I listened to Rumble in the Jungle on the radio when I was a kid,
Muhammad
and
Ali.
I used to. My mother was Catholic, and I used to go to church. And Donnie Weir used to be in our congregation, so I knew who Donnie Weir was. Remember Donnie Weir with he had that kind of a. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love boxing. I've always loved boxing, and Pierre was very into boxing. And that's actually Davey Moore. He's lying on his back. He's dead now. He died in a car accident, and that's his trainer. And he's just doing some kind of a sit-ups upside down or something. And I love the gyms in New York.
And they didn't mind you photographing.
No, they're fine. Yeah, I was with Pierre though, so
Yeah.
I was just I had a rat. Every
what was
model
his name?
has a pet.
What What was his name again?
His name was Ghana.
Ghana.
Ghana as in gonorrhea, or gonna get you, or Ghana as in skirt.
Yeah.
And then I'm topless, obviously. That's a T-shirt.
Well,
I don't know.
if you got it, flaunt it.
That's
you know?
me and Ghana in the mirror. What can I say?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's
So this was a fun evening.
Famous faces.
So Sandra Bernhard had an evening where she filmed it, and Hugh Hefner used to have a party for Playboy, and a camera would come to the party.
Yeah.
And when the camera walked in, it would be introduced to all the people that were there. And it was called the Playboy, I don't know what it was called, but it was
TV.
it was a TV show. So Sandra reenacted it, and she had a party one night, and it was in a studio, and like, Rosanna Barr was there, and Timothy Leary was there, and June Newton was there, and that's Janice Dickinson, and that's Lip Sync, and Kirsty
Turlington.
Kirsty McNally, something, and Tatiana, whatever.
Help me there.
I don't know. Peter.
Peter knows everybody.
Yeah, and I was sitting around like Kippy, because that's what you do in these silly places, and Michel Comte was there, who's a very brilliant photographer whose work I love, and he had a few buddies with him, and he gave me one of his cameras, and he said, "Yeah, here's film, and just shoot." So I got all these really awesome photographs. Who's that guy? He's a singer. He's still around. Anyway,
yes,
he's in my book. You have to buy the book. Tom Jones. Tom Jones.
Is he still around?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, good on him.
And so Sandra had this party, and the camera was, in fact, there's a little clip on YouTube, I've seen it, where we're all sitting on a bed together.
Yeah.
And Sandra's like, because Sandra obviously loves girls, and so we're all sitting on the bed with her, and she's like, "I'm here with all my girls." It's quite a sweet thing, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and oh my God, it's quite funny actually. But anyway, so that's Patrick de Marchelier.
Oh, wow.
And that's Pierre Olaise, who's my dead husband. And that's in our apartment in Studio 1205, and just Patrick's, the French, they were called the French Mafia, because it was Patrick de Marchelier, André Carrara, Gilles Ben-Simon, and Pierre Olaise, and they were like the French Mafia.
Lucky thing, you.
Well, I don't know.
That's
Bill Cunningham.
Bill Cunningham.
That's Bill
Doing
Cunningham.
his street photography as he does.
Oh, he was lovely. A lovely old man. He actually, so this guy didn't want me to take a picture of him, so I snuck one. Oh, not that one.
Next one.
It's Paolo Roversi.
Oh, wow.
Because I did actually ask photographers if I could take a picture of them, and they were literally snapshots. And I asked Paolo if I could take a picture of him, and he said no, so I took that. Because I'm very disobedient. And that's Bill King.
Oh.
Bill passed away from AIDS, I think. He was a brilliant photographer. He used to, I think, torture animals, because he'd like throw them across the room, and then like the girl would be standing there, and then like the picture would be like the cat going like that or something.
Nice one.
Yeah, but he was a really good photographer. So that's Bill at Christopher Street Halloween. That's Bill with a drag queen, and that's like Halloween. Yeah, Christopher Street was great. The gay pride, whatever it's called, that walk now is ridiculous. It's just American bling, like big floats, and it's really ugly. That Christopher Street was really cute back then.
Did you live in New York most of the time?
Yeah.
All the time?
Yeah, I had a boyfriend who was a film director, so I moved to Hollywood for like 9 months, and I lived on Benedict Canyon, very nice, and my boyfriend was, like I said, a film director, so that was quite fun. But yeah, I mainly lived in Manhattan. Yeah.
So you never actually moved over to Europe and did any?
I started in Europe.
Yeah.
I moved from Cape Town to Paris, and that's where I met Pierre, and I stayed in Paris for about 4 months, and then I moved to... The French are, I mean, I love the French, but they're super unfriendly. And anybody French here? Yeah, I love the French. I'm French. I married a French.
Do you still have your passport?
No, but I have an American now. So I had 3 passports at one stage. I had a French. I could get it again if I wanted to, and I had an American, which is all illegal apparently.
Really?
Yeah, but anyway, whatever.
Did you find like sort of towards the end of your career was sort of when the supermodel era was so
Yeah, it was more
fading?
like no, it was kind of a like in its
heyday.
I've never considered myself a. This is Arthur Elgar, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Love Arthur's photographs. I was never a supermodel. I was just lucky. I'm South African, so maybe for South African I did something interesting. But in America, I was not a supermodel. I don't think I was a supermodel. I was just lucky. I signed a contract with Calvin Klein for 3 years. But that whole Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, Cindy Crawford, all those chicks, and Peter Lindbergh took pictures of them, Naomi, those girls all did that thing. I would never have done any of that.
But you were photographed by many of those.
I worked with all those people,
Yeah.
but never as that group of,
top.
yeah, I wasn't that. But I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, apparently, if you Google me and there's a website somewhere and it says I'm a supermodel, but yeah.
Oh, you go with that one.
Somebody was very upset that I said I was the first South African supermodel, and she said no, she was. So.
Well, I keep saying that anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah. At 3 o'clock in the morning, she was WhatsApping, emailing, saying, no,
it's me.
No, I was the first supermodel. Sorry.
Oh,
Please
well.
change that. We changed it. Second supermodel. You'll know who it was. She was the only other model that was really big at that time. That's Jean-Paul Good.
Oh, fantastic.
Love Jean-Paul.
Lovely shot.
So Pierre, my ex-husband, Pierre Oulez, and Jean-Paul used to work a lot together. That's Jean-Paul's ear. So Jean-Paul Good was, he did that whole Grace Jones things with a little bandage thing over here. And he did the parade for the centennial down the Champs-Elysees with bears on ice skates, on an ice rink.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
he's genius.
Yeah,
This man is genius. Jean-Paul Good, Goude,
Yeah.
genius. Anyway, that's him. He was very good, one of the French mafia. So that's, I did an Obsession commercial for Calvin Klein, and that's Richard Avedon over there eating something, and that's Nesta Almondros, who used to work with Fellini a lot. And that's a snapshot, not a very good one, but that's all I got.
They didn't mind.
No, they were chilled. And this is just my model's pictures of, while I'm walking around, just taking pictures of girls putting on their makeup and doing their thing.
Who's that?
That's a girl called, can't remember. Yeah, her. That's me in the mirror again.
With your Leica?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. No, that's my R5.
Yeah.
R5, right?
Yeah.
So that woman was Louise Dupont. She still is Louise Dupont. She owned a model agency called City, and she was the one who phoned me to come to Paris. And this was Gilles Bensimon's 40th birthday. We bought him a blow-up doll. And that's
classic.
I'm sitting on the back of the but it was quite funny because there was these... God, when I think of it in retrospect, scary. So I'm sitting in the back of the car, and we decide to go to the Bois de Boulogne, which is kind of a park somewhere in Paris. And what you do in the Bois de Boulogne is you pick up couples to come bring home, and then you
swingers.
Yeah, swingers. And we drove there.
With the blow-up doll.
There were a few of us in the car. And then we find a couple, and then we all drive home together. And I'm like,
Hey, what do we do now?
Okay, this is fun, I think. and then what happens is we find parking, and then the car, the couple car, start reversing to park. And as they're reversing to park, we drove off. I was not driving, and it wasn't my idea, but that was that night.
Oh,
And,
fantastic.
Shocking. I'm sure, shocking. That's Linda Evangelista before she cut her hair, actually. That was we were shooting for Jill Sanders with Peter Lindbergh.
Oh, lovely
I've got
shot.
2 of those pictures. So one she's not smiling, and the other one she's this one. No.
Classic.
That's Carrie Lowell. She was married to Richard Gere. Awesome chick.
Yeah.
Awesome woman. That's Francois Nars, who is a very famous makeup artist. Well, you can't see him, but he's doing the make. That's Timothy Leary.
Yes.
That's Timothy,
Beautiful.
and that's June Newton, who was married to Helmut.
Yep. Oh,
Helmut was dead already, and that I called her the wedding singer not wedding singer, the singer, because she was part of the that evening with Sandra Bernhard.
was that at the same
I'm
party?
sure she's famous and fabulous, but I didn't know her name.
Oh, what a lovely shot.
That's Barry
White.
White.
Yes.
Yeah, that's at MK, which was a nightclub that I used to go to all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, these are just like...
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
great shots. I
yeah.
mean, what do you guys think? I mean, that's not just
That's,
a snap.
that's Michelle Comte for that evening that we were
Oh,
doing the... Yeah,
he gave you the
that's
camera.
Michelle, yeah.
And he shot everything.
That's Sofia Coppola. So she was also at the party. So Michelle's also on Instagram, and he's very interesting. I mean, he's Swiss or something, and he's a fascinating, and he's very talented. He's got great style, great...
Still shooting.
Yeah, yeah. And she was obviously very young back then. This was before she was a film director. A friend of mine, actually, my money manager, she's her money manager, and she gave Sophia this book.
Yeah.
And Sophia was like, oh my God, what am I wearing?
Lots of
But she
bling.
didn't sue me either, so it's all okay. I haven't been sued by Sofia Coppola.
No, I think they're all just very
No,
pretty.
that's the evening. So that's Sandra, and that's
Go
Tom
Sandra.
Jones. Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah. Sandra's like you, like, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. And that's Janice Dickinson, and yeah, those are just, these pictures, I think they're a little bit more focused in my book.
Yeah, no, I think
I
it's
don't know.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, those two you may know or may not know. That's Linda and Naomi.
Campbell. Lovely.
I didn't really, and that's Jill Ben Simor, and that's...
There's your M3. Lovely.
Yeah, that was my M3. That was stolen.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, but lovely shot of him. That is classic.
Yeah, and that's, she was Elaine Irwin. She was married to Johnny Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh,
she was lovely.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Not anymore. Sorry, it's all name dropping.
Well,
That's Cindy Crawford.
you were there.
Yeah. I think they're all looking at me going, when's she going to go away with that
take the camera out of here.
She's going to sell it as an NFT.
Oh, is
one
that
day.
it? There's so many more.
Oh, no, yeah.
Does anybody have questions? I mean, Peter? No.
Anecdotes, Josie. What
Who did I do cocaine with? Who did I sleep with? Yeah, you know, they loved my accent. So it was like, oh, so neat, you have such a cool accent. So I was always loved in the industry. I was quite bullshit because I'm very shy. So Americans are incredibly friendly and very open. Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah. And I'm like, So they always took me as kind of a offish and standoffish, and maybe I thought too much of myself or something, but it was really just because I was shy and I just didn't have that kind of a personality.
did you tell when you were shy?
No.
Well, the camera often helps if you're shy.
Well,
You've got that
yeah.
behind, you can sort of hide behind
you just
the
hide. Yeah. Oh, that's why I love the camera, actually. I love...
It's always like a
I actually
barrier.
don't take pictures anymore because then I had children and then it's digital and then... I don't know. And also, I don't have the platform. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not going to go into like...
Instagram.
Oh, no, I love Instagram.
do?
I'm a bit of a junkie. I have no life, so I'm on social media.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a
wouldn't say
social
that.
media junkie. I post a picture every day.
Well, I
Anyone,
better
don't
follow
worry,
you.
anyone. No, I love social media. It's totally entertaining. I don't have television and I don't buy newspapers, so I get
You kind
all
of
my
live
news
almost
from social
partly
media.
off the grid,
which is
don't you?
maybe-
You've gone sort of into the eco world.
Well, no, not yet. But one day,
One
soon.
day,
Yeah, I'm
you're
going
working
to
on it.
Pharmaclicate.
Yeah, for marketing.
Entertainment. Okay, so I didn't work with Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul was a very good friend with Pierre, so we used to hang out with him a lot. I never worked with Jean-Paul, but I did know him quite well.
Was he responsible for the art direction that became so iconic?
Yeah, he was the editor of Esquire magazine, and Pierre used to work with him as a photographer. Jean-Paul was creative, and he had ideas. And Jean-Paul actually has a really beautiful book called, it might be called Jungle Fever, which is apparently a very inappropriate word. I used to say it a lot, but my daughter has lambasted me for using that, so I'm not allowed to say it anymore. But the book is actually called Jungle Fever, and Grace is on the cover in a cage, like a leopard or something. And Jean-Paul created. Jean-Paul was very inspired by that movie. It was a dancing movie with a girl. It was a bit like Romeo and Juliet, but more modern, and Puerto Rican kids on the street. It's such a famous movie. Huh? Yes, West Side Story. Sorry, yeah, that one. So Jean-Paul was a dancer, and he So all his pictures were kind of quite Puerto Rican, the plastic on the sofas, and really, he actually has a great book. And Pierre used to photograph it, and they became really, really good friends. I think they were friends before I met Pierre. So I came at the end of Pierre's life, so I don't really know too much about Pierre's.
So how much older was he than you?
18 years
18
older
years.
than me. Yeah.
So how did he die?
He had an aneurysm. He went running in the Botbelon. I think he was running there. And he had a aneurysm. But the nice thing about his aneurysm, if that's a nice thing at all, is he died. It was in his brain, not in his heart. So when
it's
you
quick.
it's super.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah.
You died right away. Whereas the heart,
Where'd he go?
you can actually live. I think.
Yeah.
So and a shame. You know what? He was 39.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's so young.
I mean, I thought he was so old. But he was my mentor and my guru. Well, mentor, no, he was amazing. But he was quite hard on me, though. I mean, I was quite gentle and sweet and innocent, and he was like, "Oh, you're such a girl. Oh, you're stupid, mother."
He's toughening you up, maybe for this
totally
crazy
toughened
world.
me up. He totally toughened me up.
So do you keep in touch with any of the models? I mean, or do you know what they're doing? I mean, what is the life of a model or a supermodel now?
Well, the girls I must say the model who I love the most is and I've always from a beauty point of view, but also as a person is Christy Turlington. Christy's a very, very special human being. Besides being absolutely gorgeous. And she has a NGO called Every Mother Counts, which is giving women safe births in impoverished environments. And she runs. She actually is a runner, and she runs to raise funds for Every Mother Counts. And so I follow these girls. I follow Elle McPherson and Cindy Crawford, and every now and again we comment on each other's pictures, or we inbox each other something or whatever. But I don't really have. I mean, I was never friends with them in the real world, so I wasn't. I mean, social media is just like a little thumbs up or something.
Yeah. Well, they know who you are, so.
Yeah, but and every now and again I have a lot of friends in Cape Town that want to get involved in Every Mother Counts. So I often email Christy saying, "Sorry, it's me again," and then she just passes me on to somebody else. And but I don't have we're not friends, but we send each other. Like when Christy writes back to me, she'll say, "Oh, so and so, one of her children is in the school, and the other one's just finishing that, and blah blah blah." But
how old is your daughter?
who my daughter?
Yeah.
So I have a 25-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 19-year-old.
Three,
Yeah, and daughter in the middle, the 21-year-old. Yeah.
And the male models, they weren't supermodels then?
No, not really. Hey, no. They work. I mean, the thing about men is they age well, and all those male models I know are still modeling. Yeah,
Really?
and they're still making lots of money. They're doing Ralph Lauren, and they're doing Calvin Klein, and they're all distinguished and grey and ooh, Actually, a lot of the models I know that are also still modeling. Cindy's still modeling. Elle's still modeling. They're all skinny and beautiful. So yeah.
Josie, what year did you stop modeling, and how was it to try and transition from modeling to not modeling, and what did that do?
So what happened was Pierre and I were meant to drive through Africa, and that never happened. So then I had got a new boyfriend, and we were going to travel around the world. So we were going on a motorbike, and I sold everything in New York, and I got on the back of the bike, and I didn't want to go through America and South America because he had just done that with his ex-girlfriend. So I was like, I don't want to just follow in your footsteps. Yeah. So we started in New Zealand, and we shipped the bike to New Zealand, and we drove through, and we did all that. We did about 30,000 miles on the bike, and after that, I realized that I didn't like him anymore. And
Too much time together.
Yeah. So I said, listen, I'm just quickly going to pop back to South Africa. And have an R&R, and you just keep going because I have a nice life. And when I came back to South Africa, I met a crush from my childhood, and I got pregnant. And I thought I was in love, but I was confused. But it was fine. I had the child. He's my 25-year-old now. So basically, I stopped modeling in 95 because we were traveled in 94, and then by the time I got back here, it was 95, and I got pregnant. I had the child in 96, and then I just stayed parenting, and then I had 2 more children from another person. Actually, he was a husband, yeah. And then, yeah. So it was quite easy. I mean, I was...
What did your life look like for you? I mean, did you work? Did you...
It was quite, you know, I had such a great career, and I'd made so much money, and I was like, had lived New York, and I'd lived LA, and I'd done Hollywood, and I'd done Fabulous, all those things. And coming back here was just like, it was a breather. It was just like, oh, you know, no, like I always felt so happy in South Africa. That's why I moved back here. I just felt, living in America, there's this, oh, you got such a neat accent. Oh, you're so, you know, oh, wow. Oh, do you have lions? You know, walking in your backyard. It's just like, so, yeah, I mean, my brother lives in America, so I shouldn't be rude. And I have an American passport, so I shouldn't be rude about my people. But I would just love South Africa, and I love being here, and I love the children growing up here. They were naked on the beach, running around. You could never do that in America. There's so many like things in this country that we have that we don't even think about. I mean, I know life is very hard for a lot of people, but I was privileged enough to have a very nice life here. So the transition was fine. The only thing that I'm sorry about is I published this book, and then people thought I was a photographer, which was fine.
You did well.
But then nobody hired me because they all thought I was so expensive. Because I didn't have a price. I mean, I was just like, I'll work, I'll do a job, I'll do that. And nobody hired me, so I never bloody worked. And I was like, yeah, I'm a photographer, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, you'll know Peter, I've had lights about 7 times with Peter because I did get a job. But I never get paid for jobs. That's my problem. I don't know how to charge because I'm not worth anything. So it's like, no, I'm not really a photographer, so I'll just take the picture. So yeah, that's been tricky for me. And now I'm too old, so yeah, whatever. So now I'm just going to make coffee.
But what do you like doing in your spare time? What is your...
Social media. Yeah. And Jonah.
Yes.
I'm still raising my children-ish. I mean, my 19-year-old just finished school. So yeah, I do a lot of NGO work. Okay. I take a lot of photographs for NGOs. I do it. I don't have access to give them money, so I'll give my time. Yeah. Which you know, NGOs want photographs. That's all they want. They want the pictures of the child doing something, or they want the picture of the kid making. Yeah, they just want pictures. So I'm so happy to go out and just and then I got told NGOs actually pay, and I'm like, oh, I never get paid.
You need a manager.
No, yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
As long as you enjoy it, I think that's the key.
Yeah, no, I've had a good life. I'm very blessed.
And for Mark Lecate?
Yeah, well,
seems like far away from anywhere.
We've been going there since 1975. My dad had a partner actually, and he was going to Mark Lecate. So we drove down. In fact, the night we drove down, we did an all-nighter. My dad and I were the only 2 awake in the car. And I always remember, in fact, we must find out what year that was. It was like, this is an announcement to tell you that Elvis Presley is dead. Elvis Presley is dead.
Has left the building.
Yeah, and that was the night that we were driving to Cape Town for Mark Lecate. And I think it was 75, 76. Oh, well, there you go, you see. I'm lying. 77.
And the other photographer's Guy Tillen lives in
Guy lives in Mark Lecate. Yeah, there's a lot of creatives in Vermont.
It's getting a bit like Barrydale, you know?
No,
we don't. Yeah,
we need some Barrydale juice in Vermont. We don't have any shops
we'll come
or
over
anything.
and we'll liven it up a bit.
Yeah, I have a coffee machine. If you can just set it up for me, I'll make you coffee.
We'll bring a backdrop and a camera or 2.
But yeah, that's my story.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks everybody for coming and making it so special for all of us.